Well, Robert, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. New to CMA, I am in Lynn Capital, so seen you at conferences, seen your face, so it's really a pleasure to sit down with you today. And actually, you probably should be interviewing me a little bit because you've been in CMA for how many years now?
I believe it was around 2007.
Yeah,
was when
you
I started coming.
Yeah. And you're the president of Crawford Real Estate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So tell me a little
broker.
bit about that, of Crawford Real Estate, and how that all came to be.
So, Crawford Real Estate Services was a division part of Crawford Investment Company, which was founded by my stepdad and his father back in the late 1950s. And so was kind of one of the real pioneers of private money lending in California, Southern California specifically.
Yeah.
So when I started, I kind of took Crawford Real Estate Services on and then grew that and ended up moving forward just as Crawford Real Estate Services. And then as my dad retired, that Crawford Investment kind of faded away. And then I bought my stepdad out in 2019 and became the sole owner, and been coming to CMAs as consistently as I can.
Yeah.
And because the education and networking is it's invaluable, and I love the people.
Yeah.
So it's also a good time for me to come and see people and sometimes play some golf and have good dinners and all
Especially
that fun stuff.
Here in Indian Wells, right? Down here in Palm Springs.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
And we were talking a little bit before we kind of came on camera about you guys' demographics, like where you lend. And so this is kind of an area you were mentioning about, like doing the different deals as you drove down the street in an Uber. So tell us about some of the deals that you guys have done, deals that you're like is really your bread and butter and you like to continue to do.
Absolutely. So, as a private money lender, we do all of the same things a lot that so many other people do, but you got to find little things that maybe you're comfortable with that maybe others aren't.
Yep.
So where I've found that we do a lot of deals that others is we like to do some land deals, specifically development type land deals. So we've done a lot of stuff with a couple of different investment groups that have been buying up different parcels of land for entitlements on gas stations and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And then ground up construction, commercial construction. We've done a lot of that through the years and have a pretty good system and comfort level, and able to do some good deals for people. But that's, driving down Highway 111 the other night with our friend Brock, and we were just talking, and I said, I did that construction loan, and I did that one over there. It was just a fun moment because he had actually been contacted about refinancing out some of them construction loans from back in the day. So
that's exciting to kind of see all of that. And CMA, you said you started in 2007, so obviously a lot has happened between 2007 and so now we're here in 2025. Things are kind of a little different now for us too, post-COVID, all of that good stuff. Kind of tell me a little bit about what you have seen, maybe what CMA was like in 2007, where you kind of like see it going, and like where you think it may be headed.
Sure. So it size-wise, I think has always been pretty close to the same. Obviously, we've had turnover of people who aren't in the industry, and then new people coming into the industry.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's stayed pretty consistent size-wise. I miss the times when we had 4 seminars per year. Now, after COVID, we've only done 2, which is understandable. But it was one of those things that the more you're here, it's kind of like it's like such a hotbed of networking and deal making, and also education and learning. We used to have the January session, or the winter session is what we called it. It was always legislation, and that would be the biggest one of the year because there was so much information that they would hit
Being
you with
pushed
everything.
out, yeah.
Now they've pushed that into a lot of Zoom meetings and emails.
Yeah.
So that comes naturally. That's a good thing too. But
Yeah.
no, where it's going is fantastic. There's just been a lot of great energy, new people here who have brought a lot of good energy
Yeah.
that we needed, because as you're here for, as myself, I'll be going on close to 20 years before you know it. And you like to be innovative and fun and fresh, but maybe sometimes you're not. And sometimes you're sitting back and just kind of get into
Sure.
your normal routine
Yeah.
of working, and I know these people, and I'm going to go hang out with these people and have dinner with them, and then I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Now it's great because it seems like so many more people have. It's a really a better group, I think, than it
Yeah.
was even 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah, I really embrace like the community piece. I found when I joined last year, Brad brought me on, and then being able to come to the conferences, and it's not just saying it to say it. It is true a community where I was, welcomed with open arms, and I joined the membership committee with you, and you guys have been so welcoming with that and open to my ideas, and I think that's a true testament to the entire membership at CMA, is everybody has a place here and everybody has a voice, and being able to work together has been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a new broker. I am a broker, have been a broker since 2007, but I was always on the lending side of things. So being a broker now in the space where I'm just, this middle woman, and working with lenders like yourself, where I've sent you deals, and being able to get honest feedback and not feel judged, so to say, right? Like some people might come out and not want to work with, but anyone here at the CMA that I've called upon. And so I thank you for that. And so that's what makes this interview even more exciting for me, is to be able to highlight you.
I speak for a lot of other people to say that we're happy to have Angela as part of CMA.
Thank you.
You're a great addition to
appreciate
the crew.
So, reading up a little bit on Robert and who you are, did I read right? You went to Oklahoma?
I did. I went to University of Oklahoma for college. And actually, when I first got out of college, so my family had been in mortgage and specifically private lending. I grew up around it.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to do that. And I actually worked for Boeing Aerospace directly out of college.
Oh.
And then right around 2000 time, we had there was a big aerospace crunch that happened right in there.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I was laid off with a lot of other people. I didn't feel as bad because I had worked there for like 2 years, and I saw people that had worked there for 25 years.
Heartbreaking.
They got laid off.
Yeah.
So then I started into the wholesale mortgage side, back in the good subprime lending days, and all that fun stuff. So that really kind of broke me into my own education outside of listening to my stepdad and mom and
talk
everything.
shop at holidays.
Exactly. And then when I got married in right around 2007, I started spending more time back then with my mom and dad, of course, going through all those scenarios, et cetera, experiences. Yeah. And my dad was like, hey, I'm not going to be doing this forever, and I don't really have anybody in line that I'm going to just send this to, so why don't you think about coming back and working with me? And that's where it started, and before I knew it, he was like, okay, this is what I want, and now it's yours. Yeah. And that's kind of where it went. So.
Yeah, that's exciting. So is your succession plan to keep it in the family? I know you have kids, right?
Well, I hope so. I hope I'm not there yet. I hope I'm not thinking too close. But I do. I have I have a stepdaughter who's 24, and then I also have a 18-year-old daughter, 14-year-old son, and an 8-year-old son.
Yeah.
So
you got some options.
Yeah.
You got four of them to work with.
Part of me thinks that my 18-year-old daughter would be the one.
Yeah.
But then when you talk to her, she's like, I'm not doing that. I would never do that. Oh my gosh.
Well, someone else said that too when they were 18, so you never know,
right?
That's
exactly right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I know. Well, and at that age too, they don't really think we know too much, and then they do a 180, and they're like, oh, maybe they were right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes full
private
circle.
money is very interesting, and it's I've done it again on the lending side, so the broker is new for me. But it's very to see where it's going and where it's changed. I mean, you too have been in it too. You know, the Great Recession, as everybody refers it to. It's changed, but the one thing that has not changed, I think, is being able to be creative. And like you said, you know, a lot of people do the same thing, but at, you know, Crawford Real Estate, you guys find your niche, and it's that one little thing, and that's everybody at CMA seems to find their niche, and that's really great. So,
and don't get me wrong, we still like all the other deals too.
Yeah, those are those one little extra.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys have been in business for so long. I can only imagine that you guys probably have a lot of repeat borrowers, right? Brokers like myself, you know, like working with you, and so we send you guys deals. So aside from that, you guys do a lot of, I mean, well, CMA, but like marketing and stuff. Does CMA help you with that, or what does that look like?
Sure. You know, as far as the pure marketing side of CMA, I've noticed has helped a lot just within like your social media platforms of LinkedIn, et cetera, of, you know, the CMA making posts and mentioning Robert Austin or Crawford Real Estate Services. You know, that really helps. Those are cool. Those are great things, and it just lends itself to so much, like, how would you say, like a validity kind of thing? Like, oh yeah,
like a firm that they're
this
legit,
is a real company. This is somebody. And Glenn Goldan, who's a longtime member here, I'll never forget. This is probably 10 or 12 years ago. I was listening to him talk one day, and it really stuck with me, and I knew that's how I wanted to operate in the business. Is he said, you know, we do what we say we're going to do, and we don't do what we say we're not going to do. You know,
that's a great advice.
And that has stuck with me a lot, and I've tried to kind of do that within my own business. Yeah,
because you can get off track, right? Like especially if the market trends this way, you kind of want to go this way, but you got to stay in your lane of what you know. It seems like once that part, if you jump a little bit out of here, that's kind of when you get burned.
Yeah,
or you can.
And that's what I always say, you know, I'm not going to change at the last hour, and I don't want you to change at the last hour either. You know, so I try and live by that, and then it's easier to try and hold other people to that too. I think. I don't know.
So what kind of advice would you get for somebody getting into real estate, like thinking about private money? What kind of advice would you give them if they're thinking about getting into the industry or even joining CMA?
So I have that happen a fairly decent amount, that I'll have people reach out to me that want to come join the team, start working, et cetera. And it's a different business. This isn't your normal mortgage lending. Now, I've noticed that the people who do well have that background. Because they understand the business, they understand how would you say, the mechanics of a loan, let's say, or financing, and going through the whole process, and what is title insurance and escrow, and all those different things down the line. So, but it's someone brand new just coming in. Who's interested. You know, the accountability side, being available, being accountable to when someone calls you. You know, trying to make sure you get back to them in a fairly decent time. You know, those are the things. It's so different now. Like from when I started, marketing was expensive. Now marketing's super cheap. You know, and that's what people used to always tell me, is like, don't spend too much money on marketing because you can blow yourself out. You know, the real good stuff comes from the face-to-face and getting out there and doing the CMAs and the rotaries and things like that. So that's, I would say, you know, accountability and being available, accessible, going to different events like your CMAs and other kind of service organizations, et cetera.
Yeah, we bring up being a Rotarian because you are a Rotarian, right? At the City of Redlands?
Yes.
Yes, I am also a Rotarian now.
Oh, fantastic.
Something, if you would have asked me 2 years ago or even 3 years ago, say, hey, do you ever see you being a Rotarian? I would say no. But I do, and I love it. So what do you love about being a Rotarian?
Well, the service aspect. Of course, and giving back and being part. You know, we do a thing in Redlands called a Touch a Truck event, and what we do is we get all of the firefighters, and then from construction companies to Caltrans to the police department to everything, and they will bring all of their big trucks and vehicles, and we'll do it at like University of Redlands, and then kids will come, and it's like $8 or something. And then, you know, we raise money that way. We've bought park benches to helping with elderly on shuttle services and things like that. That Rotary's able to fund those projects through our different fines.
Yeah.
You know.
I had no idea, and this is going to make me sound really ignorant, but yeah, like being a Rotary or Rotarian, I had no idea. Like it was so, I thought it was seriously maybe like an old boys club type thing where people just kind of got together and chit-chatted, but it's not. It's so much more than that.
Absolutely.
And I think that part of, for Crawford Real Estate, so that's a core piece of the business, and that's a big piece for my business that I want to be is that community base, that you're not just doing it for you, you're not just doing it for a paycheck or even to employ others. It's much more focused on the community part.
Absolutely.
And I think that's wonderful. So
absolutely,
kudos.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. What would be one word to describe Robert?
Oh, wow. That's
I know. It is a hard one.
One word to describe me would be friendly.
Yes, I would agree. That's
I like to be friendly. I love people. I think I'm pretty good. I make friends with just about everybody I know.
Yeah.
And I can always, I can look back through my life. And anybody I ever had any type of disagreements, et cetera, it's always been worked out.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with everybody I know.
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe the one I would go with.
So I would say it would be wonderful to work for you then. You're probably a very strong leader with that, knowing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I've heard that. I've been really lucky because a lot of the staff that I have today came from Crawford Investment Company and from a person who was a big fish in this industry, and they've stayed with me, and that means a lot to me. Yeah. Because there's a lot of different places they could have gone. They have so much experience, and as you are in this industry, you start to learn it's hard to find people with good private money lending experience as far as your support staff of processors or escrow people, because we do our as a broker control funds, we handle our own escrows in house unless it's a purchase money transaction. But to have all those understandings and how you tie in and understanding title reports and dealing with title reports and all those different things, it's hard to find those people who are good. And I've been really lucky that they've stayed with me. And well, again, a testament to you, right? Because that whole transition, people can jump ship, but they must really follow your lead, so that's great. Yeah, thanks, Angela. So one last question, I guess it would be, you are a college football fan, so can I make the assumption that we're Sooner fans? Sooner. Oh, yeah, absolutely. For big time. Oh, yeah. We usually I'm lucky that I get to go back to a couple games a year usually. I always, it's kind of turned into a family thing that we go to OU Texas. Oh yeah, and, right. The Longhorns, so is that the big one? That's it. That's it. The OU Texas game. That's like a national thing. There's like some big like family divides on that. It can be. It can be, and so that's always. My son's a little bit of a football player, and he goes, Dad, what would you do if I went to Texas? Yeah. Oh. I said, well, I guess those are fighting words. I'd have to be a Texas fan for 4 years. Once you weren't there, I'm not a Texas fan anymore. Oh, man. That's a good dad. If my son told me something like that, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. Yeah. So he plays football? Absolutely. What position does he play? Well, he played quarterback for a long time. Yeah. Just this year, he's moving into high school, and he's playing wide receiver. And so so he's fast. He's pretty fast. Good for you. Which is, I know it doesn't make sense. He's quick and he's big. He's in 8th grade. He's 5'10". He's 140 pounds. Wow. And in California, you have a lot of these. Recruiting is like a really big deal. Oh, it starts at a really young age. Intense. And so we've already actually been to a couple major universities and gotten to have some backstage visits and stuff. So that's exciting. We'll see. A lot can happen in the next few years, but it'll be a fun, busy time. Yeah. Well, it goes by fast, so enjoy it for sure. Absolutely. It's a fun time. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with me, Robert. Again, I know it's been a busy day for us here at the CMA, learning a lot of different stuff, but really appreciate the one-on-one, getting to know you more. Absolutely. And I look forward to well, thank you, and you're fantastic. And this is awesome. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.